How is it going, folks? Welcome back to Park to Prem. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I hope you are ready, rested and excited for the start of season number 8. We are in the championship. At least for now, we do still have Guerrero. Will he still be here come the end of the episode? Honestly, I don't have a clue at this point. So many teams are in for him. All it's going to take is one to make a significant bid, and I think our chairman will just accept it. Of course, the current financial situation of the club means that a sale isn't exactly necessary. We made a lot of money in the summer transfer window. Speaking of which, if you didn't see the videos to end last week, you should probably go watch those first. And for those of you that did watch those videos, firstly, thank you. Secondly, here is a little refresher on the transfers that happened. I think the big headline sale this year was Callum Goldsmith. £4 million for a player who we signed for £5,000 from Witton Albion. Humble beginnings for him. Really good money to receive. I don't think he's worth £4 million. I know his valuation here says he could be worth that much. The fact that he's already loan listed by Borussia Mönchengladbach, who don't require his services, I mean, that says a lot. Football Manager, they said they fixed the transfers. I'm not convinced they have this year. Of course, the other sale we've made is Sergio. This one was slightly more polarising, but ultimately a centre-back with 7 acceleration and 10 pace is just going to get abused at this level. He doesn't really fit in as a fullback. He's one of those players who has really good mental and defensive attributes, but actually on the whole, he doesn't really fit any position. So in the end, the kind of money we received for him, I was pretty happy with. And whilst there were a few other sales, they ended up totalling £10.5 million. We reinvested, well, a fraction of that, to be frank. £1.4 million. Kamara, the first of the new additions, the Senegalese centre mid, who will one day be a right back. I have already started training him at right back. The red dot has appeared. A player who will probably feature in the first team a fair amount this year. Probably not at right back, but more in the centre of the midfield. I need to give him some game time for him to develop. Of course, we also signed Moussa Ndiaye, another fantastic Senegalese youngster. Really, really good centre back. But for us, we're training him to play left back. He is starting the season at left back. And then our third and final Senegalese player, Dia, he plays left back. We're training him to play centre back. They're doing a little swap, the two Senegalese players. This one, not the youngest player by any means, but I do like the look of Dia just as a depth option at centre back, even if he's inconsistent, given the fact we signed him for 180k. I mean, it's hard to be mad, isn't it? 3 further signings to cover real quick. The first was Coyote, signed from Manchester United as a depth centre-back option. We picked him up for £500,000. Think he's going to be a bargain. Bit of a nutter with 20 aggression. Hopefully that's not going to lead to red cards. And the final 2 players we picked up, using up our 2 new ESC slots we are given upon our promotion to the Championship. Oscar is the first, the Honduran international. He will be starting at striker for our first game of the year. And of course, the other player we picked up is Ricardo Sanchez, the Costa Rican centre defensive mid, a player who is a really, really good deep line playmaker. One of those players who's quite a specialist into one specific role. Fortunately for us, it's the role that we needed. He's also not too shabby at set pieces, so that is a nice added bonus. One thing to note with a lot of our signings this year is a lot of them are inconsistent. I try and avoid this trait at all costs, but given the options that are out there, sadly, the players that we've picked up who largely are inconsistent were just the best of the bunch. We just need them to be consistent enough to avoid relegation this year. Of course, just as a little reminder as well, board expectation for this year is simply to avoid relegation from the Championship. If I'm not mistaken, my contract is running up in the next few years, so maybe I should ask for a new one. You can see the board are very, very happy based off last season, but if we do just have a quick look at the transfer activity, you can see here the fans and the board, they really like the signings that we've made. I feel like the virtual fans are more happy with the signings than some of you watching at home. Although, to be fair, everyone plays Football Manager differently. I read the comments of the transfer specials. Safe to say not every decision I made this year was particularly, I was going to say positively received, but popular is probably a better word for it. Anyway, this has been one of the longest intros ever to kind of get you all caught up ahead of this Championship season. Today, we are taking on Sunderland. We are taking on Middlesbrough. 2 massive games for us. Let's get right into it. Today, by the way, is episode number 55 of the series. I'm glad you guys are tuning in as always. Unfortunately for Sunderland fans and away day fans, we're not going to the Stadium of Light today. We did it last season. I have done the Sunderland away day in real life, and I don't know how much it's changed over the last 10 years, but when I went, you had to go up a ridiculous number of flights of stairs with inspirational quotes on it. I remember having this discussion and mentioning these stairs, and then someone from Sunderland told me there wasn't that many. Let me tell you now, when you've had a few beers, it feels like a lot of steps. Of course, one transfer that we lined up at the end of last episode was Dekanovic here, a Croatian goalkeeper who's just really coming in to be a depth player. Another player who's inconsistent, I realise, but a backup goalkeeper. We're signing him for absolute peanuts, £200,000, but his wages are less than £1,000 a week. I quite like the look of him. You know, I don't want to say this too loudly, but if Keeley pisses me off, he could be replaced by Dekanovic at some point this year. The man knows how to stop shots. Now, it has only been 3 days since the end of the transfer special, and not a lot's happened, so we are just going to get straight into this game against Sunderland. In terms of the starting 11 and team for today's game, Ngoma, sadly, is going to be missing at the start of the season. Not ready for a fitness test. He won't be risked in this one here. Elsewhere in the team, you can see here Luke Chambers also injured, not back from full fitness, a player who probably wouldn't have made the bench anyway, to be fair. The only other player who was a little bit of a risk heading into this game was Mkize. He did not need a fitness test, though. He is ready and raring to go to start the season as our centre-back. So looking at the team for today's game, Keeley is between the sticks. Gasperi and Mkize hold on to their spots following on from their League One campaign together. Ricky D, another player who has survived the summer, has really high value, did have some interest in him at various points throughout last year, but over the summer, no one came in for him, so the right-back remains in our ranks. At left-back, it is going to be a debut for Musa Ndiaye. I love the look of this guy. I think he could be a really, really good left-back for the future. He only turned 18 a matter of days ago. He's flown over from Senegal. He's not had a pre-season with us, but we're just throwing him straight in the starting 11. At defensive mid, we've got João Victor, who wasn't particularly inspiring last year, but is going to get a second chance to show us what he's made of. He's going to be playing at centre defensive mid alongside the new addition in Ricardo Sanchez. Hoping this guy is going to be a bit of a set-piece and creative wizard from deep. As a reminder, he's on £8,000 a week. He is comfortably the highest earner of the club. I hope he's going to reward the faith I've put in him. And speaking of faith, yeah, I'm going with Faye at centre attacking mid. Ngoma's out. There was a whole list of players who could have slotted in at centre attacking mid. I'm going with the product of our academy. 17 years old, and just as a reminder, he turned 17 2 months ago. Faye here is absolutely incredible. He has to get minutes this year. A great opportunity for him to come into the team with Ngoma out. Guerrero did pick up an injury in pre-season. He is fit for today's game. I know he's unhappy. I don't care that he's unhappy. He's probably not going to be here for that much longer, but let's not worry about that for the here and now. He's here for today's game. He's playing out on the right. And up top, our Honduran youngster Oscar is going to play alongside Jude Soonsup-Bell. Obviously, Jude has been here through thick and thin, joined us in the National League, has been a proven goal scorer throughout. His goal scoring numbers have dropped slowly over the years. I'm hoping he's going to be able to maintain that around 20 goal mark in the Championship. But to be honest, when you look at his overall ability, it's probably going to be a challenge for him to achieve that. I know someone's going to mention it, Jack. Oscar is left-footed on the right-hand side and Jude is right-footed on the left-hand side. I could swap these two players, but Oscar does not have the mentals to play as a pressing forward. I feel like if I flip the two striker roles around, so Oscar was on the left as an advanced forward and Soonsup-Bell was on the right as a pressing forward, I'd probably also have to flip Guerrero onto the left-hand side, and Guerrero can't play on the left-hand side. So that's why we're doing it like this. Who knows? Over the course of this year, I'm sure there will be some tactical tinkering. Now, worth noting, heading into this game, Sunderland have a pre-season prediction of 3rd place. They are a very, very good team in this save game. They have quality. It's going to be a tough game for us. A couple of players didn't get the full pre-season. Plenty of players being given numbers there. Yes, I have just auto-numbered them. No, I'm not sorry. We're here at the Stadium of Light, and I am now hoping that we are going to, well, start the season off with a win, albeit this is a very tricky game. This is probably going to be one of the hardest games we play all season. Sunderland, a well-established team, playing them on the road as well. They are going to be playing a 4-2-3-1. And of course, we are sticking with our asymmetric 4-2-2-2 for this one. Quite excited to see how the likes of Oscar, Sanchez and NDII get on. Some new players in our ranks is always nice. Last year, we didn't bring in a whole load of new starting players between League 2 and League 1. It was definitely necessary to bring in some of those upgrades. And at least right now, this has been a close game so far. In fact, I don't think Sunderland have yet had a shot on goal in this game. We're not having as much of the ball as we'd like, and we might be tested defensively here, but yeah, not a disrespectful start to things, although that could change very quickly as Kozik whips it into the ball box, and it's just headed over. Okay, everything's fine, I'm calm. I feel like so far in today's commentary, I'm flubbing over my words a little bit. It's the nerves of the occasion, everyone. It feels big, doesn't it, being in the Championship? Suddenly you're playing against all these teams that are financially gambling their futures on the prospect of making it to the Premier League. And as a new team in this league, as, well, comfortably the smallest team in this league, it's going to be tough. And it's safe to say our day has just got harder with that goal. For 25 minutes, we remained resilient. Day on this occasion, playing out on the right-hand side. He cut inside. He was past it, and, well, he just took the ball forward and smooshed it into the top corner. That was a good finish. Right, Sanchez, I brought you in for set pieces. He goes short to Guerrero. He's going to play it in. Player goes down in a heap. A penalty is going to be given. Is Jude on our penalties with Ngoma not in the team? I think he is. Oh, Jude, please score. His penalties have been awful over the years. I should just remove him from the list completely and put every player above him on the list. I am fuming. I'm looking at our takers here. He is top of the players currently in the match squad. I'm dragging him down. Sam Fay, you're on penalties from now on. I mean, 35 minutes gone here. That missed penalty is still just lingering in my memory. You look at the chances in this game. Whilst we're not having a lot of the ball, we are creating a lot when we do have it. And, well, we might have a chance here. Sanchez, you're on £8,000. I'm expecting quality. He puts it towards Gasperi's head. It's cleared away, but only as far as Fay. He's a little bit isolated on this side, but he gets it to Ricky D. Back with Fay. Lovely build-up play. Is there an opportunity to get the ball into the box? Guerrero turns. Guerrero shoots. Guerrero scores. It's 1-1. Right before the break. And to be honest, despite our lack of possession through just chances created, we bloody deserve that. Fay with some nice work here on the near side, working with Ricky D. Really intelligent play. Guerrero, though, let's be fair to him. When he got the ball here, quite a lot to do. Lovely turn. Hit it first time on his left foot. Keeper got a foot to it, but it wasn't enough to stop it hitting the back of the net. Okay, half-time in this game, 1-1. I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. Secretly, far from upset with what's happened there. Jude having missed the penalty is very, very tempting. Just sub off. Should we just take him off? I could bring in either Ferrarinson, who I don't really rate as a pressing forward, or we bring in William Espinoza, who actually has a pressing forward. I feel like you could do a lot worse than William. I have also just noticed that Oscar has picked up a lower leg injury. Apparently, he suffered an injury. He could struggle on. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to make a double change here early on. Going to bring in Ferrarinson, and I think I'm going to bring in Espinoza as well. I could potentially bring in Hines to play as the pressing forward, I suppose. Actually, when you look at it like that, Hines is definitely coming on. Sorry, William. I've sent him out to get warmed up at halftime. I'm calling him back in now. Your time will come one day, my friend. Bit unorthodox to be subbing off both strikers at halftime, but given Jude missed that penalty and the injury to Oscar, I don't really want to risk it. I feel like Hines, to be fair, and Ferrarinson aren't a massive step down. When it comes to our striking options this year, we've actually got 5 or 6 fairly evenly matched options. The team is largely going to be picked off form. I feel like you'll see a common trend this year until we find something that works where I will be just shuffling things. And well, maybe I need to shuffle them some more. 5 minutes into this half, Sunderland score another banger. I know there's some people who aren't that keen on Keeley, and I'm sure they're going to look at these goals and point at them and go, that's his fault. I mean, can we just be clear? This is not Keeley's fault. This is just a stupendous shot, isn't it? I mean, no one is stopping that. We'll point out at this point, Sunderland have had 3 shots and scored 2 goals. They've had a lot of the ball, so a bit disappointing with how this game's played out, but maybe a chance here. Set piece, Sanchez over it. I'm going to attempt to avoid mentioning the fact he's the top earner every time he takes a set piece, although I am expecting magical deliveries into the box. Sam Fay, can you make magic happen? Of course he can. The 17-year-old gets us back into this game. We peg back Sunderland for a second time in this match. Sanchez with the initial ball in, it wasn't great. Fay, who was imperative to that first goal, he picks up the ball here, and he just takes the play, takes the game by the scruff of the neck. Ngoma, you can stay injured, mate. You can stay mad. You can ask to leave the club if you want. We've got Sam bloody Fay. Is anyone else getting deja vu? This is literally where we just scored from. I promise you this is a different highlight. Sanchez is over it. The Costa Rican international whips it in. NDIA, the left back, is under it. Lays it back to Sanchez. A little bit of time and space at the edge of the box. He could shoot. He does shoot, and for a moment I thought he was going to fly in on his debut. I'm just thinking about making a couple of subs in this game to get some fresh legs on. 20 minutes left in this game. Sunderland on the attack here. 1-on-1. On this occasion, though, they don't find the top corner. I think the shot was even blocked. It's gone out for a corner. And, well, maybe it's not done yet. Eze is over the ball for them. He is going to whip it towards the near post. Gasperi, though, leaps like a salmon. That's going to be the end of the highlight. And with that, I am going to make some changes. What am I going to do, though? What am I going to do? João Victor's been poor. Masters on Newcombe. Gasperi on a booking just scares me. Mamadou Dia, welcome to the first team. Let's see what you can do against Sunderland. I feel like in this kind of hard-fought game, the last thing I want to do is get a player sent off or give away a penalty. Ferrarinson has just shoved someone over in the box. We've seen a penalty missed in this game. We now need to see them miss a penalty. It's going to be Clark over it. I'm looking at Keeley, not expectant, but hopeful. And, well... Not for the first time in this game. The ball's just been smashed into the top corner. That was a bloody good penalty. I'm imagining Jude on the bench next to me and I'm pointing at him going, this is what I need you to do from penalties. That is an absolute banger by Clark. Look, we fought back twice in this game already. We have a chance to try and fight back in this game here. Time is running out slightly. We are going to have to go on the offensive if we want to get anything from this game. I'm going to up the direction or directness of our passing. I'm going to remove looking for the overlap. We want to try and get the ball forward quickly. Out of possession. Let's step up more. Let's get stuck in. Let's try and make something happen here, albeit against the odds. Gonna level with you though. How this game's played out so far, I'm not that mad. I mean, if we get another goal here, I'd be even happy, dare I say. Unfortunately, it's headed over. But considering Sunderland are predicted to finish third this year and we're away from home with some new players coming into the team who are going to take a little while to get up to speed, this has been a pretty good performance. We fought back twice. I wouldn't back against us fighting back again here. There is 1 minute plus any added time. We're looking for some magic. NDIA, can you provide the magic? The number 31 gets to the byline, pulls in, and Toby Hines scores. He's assisted by the 18-year-old. Hines comes in, Hines scores, and a player who really struggled to get up to speed last year is off the mark for this season already. Sanchez spreaded the ball wide. NDIA picked up here. His driven pass into the box was not read by the defence, and Hines gets it through the keeper's legs. It's 3-3. We're heading into added time. I'm not going to take my foot off the gas. Let's try and stay on the front foot for these last couple of minutes. But to be honest, as the full-time whistle goes here, you can't really be mad, can you? 3-3 against Sunderland. Really good performance. We really took the game to them as well. Interesting how little apparently Sunderland played out on the left-back side of the pitch. What's going on here? I assume they were playing with an inverted fullback, and because they had so much of the ball, he was just constantly inside. Either way, not going to complain. That's a really good result. Faye and Hines, not necessarily the goal scorers I would have been predicting to score in that game there, but I'm very grateful they did find the back of the net. Sam Faye, in fact, in that game, he picked up man of the match. Give him some praise. Oscar's injury is only a tight calf, so he's only out for a couple of days. Nothing too kind of panic-worthy there. You can see here, Sanchez made his debut. There was a sense of intrigue and excitement. In that game, he got a 7.3 rating. I like the look of him quite a lot. Of course, it is early days. We're not going to get carried away too much just yet. Right, we have got a Stevenage game midweek in the Carabao Cup. We're not worrying about that in today's episode. Instead, we are looking upwards and onwards to this game against Middlesbrough. Their media prediction is 12th, slightly worse quality you imagine than Sunderland. Their key man is this guy, Riley McCree here, who's actually a very, very good player. Certainly not an easy game. We are going to be underdogs even at home. Let's try and get our first win of the season. Okay, so the game against Stevenage went as well as it could have. 6-1 win in this one. Really, really good team display. You'll notice the team in this top right corner. Incredibly rotated. Espinoza didn't score, did get a hat-trick of assists. Maybe William is staking his claim to be a player who can make appearances off the bench this year. I want to give this guy game time. I want to make that clear for the American fans out there. Anyway, we are going to be heading into this game against Middlesbrough. Of course, Ngoma, coming back from his injury, you can see is still technically injured. I've got him on the bench, but I don't really want to risk him in this game, even if a fitness test isn't required. To be fair, Faye did such a great job in that last game. It doesn't really feel necessary to change things up in that regard. The rest of the team is completely unchanged from the last game. You'll notice condition is really, really good across the board. Oscar, you can see here, didn't need a fitness test. His condition is in a slightly better spot. His injury was only minor. Hoping he is going to get off the mark, similarly to Jude Soonsup-Bell, before we get too far into this season. Words cannot express how desperate I am for us to get a win in this episode. The result against Sunderland, I'm chuffed with it. It was such a good performance. The midweek game against Stevenage, predictable against weaker opposition. But this game here, at home, in front of our fans, is massive. You'll notice the stadium is very, very well filled now. Last year we sold 500 season ticket sales. This year we've sold almost 1,500. So the supporter base is definitely starting to grow at Rugby Town, which is nice. Of course, our stadium, I think it only holds 4,000 fans. The expansion capacity is 6,000. So a new stadium is going to be needed at some point in time. And Oscar, golden opportunity for the Honduran. Hits the post. I thought he was going to get off the mark for the season there. It was a great opportunity. Denied by the woodwork, but good promising signs early on in this game. Goal kick taken long. We win the initial ball. Faye now has it. I have noticed Sanchez here is on a booking. Please be well behaved, Sanchez. Ball played inside by Faye. Can't get there. Sanchez, though, wins the second header. João Victor tries to get it forward. Middlesbrough quell that attack. And, well, I'll tell you what, they've got a fair few players bringing the ball forward. Franco, Griffiths on this near side. What can the right back do for them? I'm hoping the answer is nothing, but that defence flicking pass was incredible. And then the shot, I think it's deflected off Nkise and nestled in the bottom corner. My first instinct here is it's deflected off our defender. I could just be being bitter, but I'm pretty sure this wasn't as good a finish as it looks. Yeah, that is hit Nkise on the bottom and found, well, the bottom corner, ironically. 1-0 Middlesbrough. That feels harsh. Ball to be whipped into the box here by Oscar. I have just changed up Sanchez's instructions to ease off tackles. I feel like we're at that point where I don't know if I can trust him yet as a new signing. You know, when you have some players that you know, they can stay on the pitch with a yellow card, they'll be well behaved. Nkise, not one of those players. Chance here. Jude scores 1-1. Is this just going to be the season of fightbacks for us? We've still not led in a football match this year. I am still nervous here knowing that Nkise is on a booking, especially after his shenanigans at the end of last year. But on that occasion there, nice build-up play. João Victor inside. Jude gets off the mark for the season. We love to see it. Also, really nice to see João Victor picking up an assist. Last year, he played a lot as a deep line playmaker. Don't think that is his best role within our system. He is now playing as a segundo volante, and to be honest, he's not the best player going forward. He's the kind of player who I might, fiddle with player roles with. Maybe we play him as a deep defensive midfielder on support or something. But at least for now, I don't want to change the system too radically until we see how our performances have been. Middlesbrough on the attack here. Franco out on the right, cuts inside onto his left foot, could shoot, does shoot. Luckily for us, it sails over the bar. There is, 1 minute left of this game. Guerrero's got a little bit of a knock. Jude loses out with the ball there. Guerrero on a knock is, kind of concerning, but the cynic in me thinks I should keep him on the pitch, because if he gets injured, badly, no one will bid on him this summer, and then we get to keep him. Is that awful behaviour? That feels like very controlling. If I can't have him, no one can have him. That's my attitude. Guerrero, I'm sorry, mate, you're staying on the pitch. If you die, you die. That, by the way, was actually a good chance to take the lead here. We do still have the corner. Oscar on his left foot whipping it in. Rushworth collects. Okay, half-time in this game here, it is 1-1. We've had far, far more opportunities, but we have yet to find the breakthrough. I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. I'm looking at Oscar expectantly. I've signed you all the way from Honduras. I've given you an ESC slot. I need you to give me some goals, even if you've only got 10 finishing. Where is he? Here he is. Oscar, what a ball to Jude that is. Can he finish it? He can. You know what? I don't mind if Oscar only gets... It's offside, isn't it? I was about to say I don't mind if Oscar only gets assists. He hasn't even got an assist there. Middlesbrough now bring the ball forward. NDIA, lovely little tackle. Faye, progressive pass forward to Jude, who's going to hold up the play nicely for the onrushing João Victor. He's got an option on his left in NDIA, who did get an assist last game. Lays it instead back to Gasperi. Gasperi, by the way, I've tabled him a new contract offer. I feel like he deserves more than £600 a week, and he is unhappy. His demand's reasonable too. And Goma, take note. Ricky D on this near side, yet to get an assist, I think, this season, Ricky D. Could he get one here? No, Jude can't keep his header down. We have got far too many bookings for my liking here. I was told Ngoma could play the game, but obviously concerned about his match sharpness. I'm going to bring him on. Elsewhere, I'm going to take off Guerrero and I'm going to bring in Toby Hines, who impressed me last game. And Nkise on a booking is less than ideal, but I feel like I just have to keep him on at least for now. Do I want to take off Oscar? Do I want to trust Oscar? I don't know why. The voice in the back of my head, my football manager voice, it's saying keep Oscar on. In Oscar, we trust. An hour played here, we are hunting down a win. A draw would not be disastrous here against Middlesbrough, but when you look at the balance of play, we've had more possession, we've had more shots. I feel like we deserve a little more from this game, and yet, it's Middlesbrough putting the ball into the box there, and Nkise gets a nice header away initially. Middlesbrough have made some changes in the final third. They are changing things up. Do I need to react? Not with Keeley making stops like that. He plugs the ball out the air, and now we look to launch it long. Unfortunately for us, no one's there, although Hines mops up the pieces and lays it away to Jude, who's looked very, very dangerous this game, has Soonsup Bell. He finds himself out on the left-hand side. Can he get the ball in? He lays it to Ngoma. He puts into the box. Hines' shot is blocked. It was a really good opportunity. But Middlesbrough, plenty of men behind the ball, and we are just struggling to break them down right now. Force for them now looking to bring the ball forward. Could we get caught on the counter-attack? Are they about to play the Uno reverse card? Force has gone all on his lonesome here, lays it to McGree, and his shot is deflected wide. Middlesbrough do have a corner here. Best is the man over it. Do not like this. I feel like we're quite well equipped to deal with set pieces. I don't want to jinx it, but I just trust our defence. And on that occasion, right to trust Keeley. I am also concerned this highlight just isn't ending. Okay, never mind. Okay, Oscar, I trusted you for a while. You've let me down. I'm bringing on Ferrarinson, even if he did give away a penalty last game. Mamadou Diarra, I'm going to bring on from Kize, who's struggling. NDIA at left back, lacking a little bit of condition here at the end of the game. Ryan Morgan, who was probably our player of the year last year, he is going to come on off the bench at left back. With those changes made as well, just going to change things up slightly as we go in pursuit of a winner. 5 minutes left here. Is there a breakthrough for Rugby Town? Could we find ourselves getting a first win of the season? If we're going to do it, it's going to be in dramatic fashion. 4 minutes of added time. They are going to come and go. Failure to win in the first 2 games of the year, but to be honest, I actually feel kind of happy with what I've seen today. I don't know if that's me huffing the copium, as the kids say. You know, I'm there just, everything's fine. No, I think it's okay. I realise if you don't know what copium is, you think I've just had a breakdown there. It's a fictional thing you inhale when you need to cope with a situation. I feel like it's obvious, but there you go. I've explained the joke. Now it's not funny. Some would argue it's never funny, and I'd argue they're probably right. Guerrero is sadly out for only 1 to 3 days, so teams still could make bids on him in the next few weeks. Man of the match in the game, by the way, was Jude Soonsup-Bell. Didn't exactly have the craziest rating, but good to see him get off the mark for the season. Of course, it is very, very early days, but right now with the 2 draws there, we find ourselves parked in 13th place. Given the fact we have just taken on 2 teams predicted to be in the top half, kind of happy with how that's gone so far. Truth be told, I'm not entirely sure when we are going to be back next episode. I feel like I'm going to play a little bit, find out what this season is going to entail. Are we maybe going to push for the playoffs? Is it a case of just trying to avoid relegation? Is it going to be mid-table and we don't need to do a load of episodes? We'll see what happens. Of course, the transfer window is going to wrap up. Who knows? I might have signed players, I might have sold players by next episode. I wouldn't really keep anything off the table. Also, I just realised here, Dekanovic was never promoted to the senior team. Sorry, Nicola, that's my bad. Finn, you're being demoted, mate. Sorry. Right, folks, we will leave things there for today. Let me know what you thought of today's episodes and the performances to start the season. Is there anywhere where I should be delving into the transfer market in order to enhance our team? When I look across the squad right now, pretty happy with how we've done so far. Of course, it's a young team with a load of potential. I don't really want to sign a load of new players who are going to disrupt the first team opportunities of this talent we've amassed. If you have enjoyed today's episode, as always, go down below the video, leave a like, leave a comment. Helps out the series in the algorithm. We are back tomorrow with more action from the Championship. I will see you guys then. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you in a bit. I'm out.